All right, cool. So we're live. Awesome.
Woo-hoo.
Let's kick things off. This is our first live tasting on Instagram. We're probably going to be a little rough around the edges, but we found a nice spot in our warehouse here in Jesse's blending table. You can't see it, but right off camera is like 90 unlabeled bottles, and only he knows what's in them.
Most of the time.
Behind us we have our little mini Solera that we use to build our rum blend, right?
Yeah, no, it's actually the original, which is kind of cool. So it's the relic, the piece that made it all possible.
Yes, the beginning, Doc's beginning.
Who are you?
Yes, so to introduce ourselves, I'm Keith. I work here at Doc's. I do a lot of operation stuff, a lot of purchasing, help Jesse in the warehouse. I also do some of our marketing. And to my right here, we have Jesse, head blender, head janitor, all-around great guy.
Thanks. You're so nice.
Yeah. I could go on.
You might want to.
Yeah. So, and
we try to be honest here.
To my left, we have a friend of the company who's here to join us in our tasting. And between the three of us, we kind of run the spectrum of whiskey. Sydney here is brand new to tasting.
Complete novice.
Complete novice.
Yeah, I know nothing about this stuff, so this is fun.
That's good. Perspective, right?
Yeah.
I've been here for 6 to 7 months now, and I'm just slowly getting into it. So I would consider myself intermediate at best. And Jesse is our head blender, so hopefully he knows the shit.
Sometimes, at least convince you all.
Of course, I will preface all this with saying we are all horrible with allergies, and if you know anything about allergies, this is the worst time to be tasting anything. But Batch 5 is hitting stores, so here we are.
We're going to do it anyway.
Do it anyways.
That's true.
Yeah. So to that point, we got Batch 4 and 5 of our Alter-Ego Bourbon and Batch 4 and 5 of our Alter-Ego Rye. Mm-hmm. Our Rye just recently won double gold at the New York International Spirits Award, 96 points. International. Oh yes, and a write-up in Forbes, so we're all very proud of that.
Top 4 rye whiskeys in America, I think.
I think
or
so.
US,
I'm going
like
to say that because it sounds amazing.
I know.
It
might have been more places, but I know it was at least
at the,
America.
At the very least, in the United States, I feel like that's pretty
From
solid.
an international competition, so I feel like it could be more.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, the Triple Cask Bourbon won Platinum at SIP Awards.
Oh, sweet.
Good on it. So, I figure...
Somebody likes it.
I know, right?
Besides us, of course.
Yeah, this is going to be the most biased tasting ever.
I know.
It's all amazing.
Not entirely.
Yeah.
New guest star here.
That's
so,
true.
doing all new
tasting
tasting.
about it.
That's a good point.
And I don't have allergies, so I might actually be able to taste it.
You probably do better than all of us at this rate.
Yeah, you're probably going to be the best taster here. All right, so if you guys want to help me, you have the 4.
Okay.
I'll take the 5. You want to pour in the left glasses, I'll pour in the right.
Sounds good.
Let's get...
sorry, you want me to do things?
No, you're fine. You keep looking handsome.
What's the day?
Lend us credibility.
We're not pouring these one. No, I get what's going on.
Yeah. For both.
Be honest, I'm so used to doing this myself on this table.
Quick question in here. Which one is your favorite? I'm assuming they're talking about the rye or the bourbon. Do you guys have?
Ooh.
Which one do you guys enjoy more? The rye, the bourbon, or
It's a good question.
what are your highlights of
That's a good question.
of each? I guess.
I can't pick favorites. They're like children. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have an older brother, and we badger my parents enough about being perfect and the best one. But I think that might be, I feel the same way. I feel like.
Yeah, that's really tough. I think I find myself to be more of a bourbon drinker personally. I look at my cabinet at home and it's like 90% bourbons. So I might be a little biased,
That's
but
totally fair.
yeah, I like bourbon, man.
Yeah, I feel like I like rye for mixing drinks typically. And so I'm a little bit sad that the cabinet at home doesn't have more rye in it. But I think bourbon's good for sipping, so that's nice. I'm glad that we're trying this one first.
Speaking of sipping, let's get in there.
All right, what did
And
you guys
which
pick up?
batch is this one again?
Left. 4. Yeah, so this is
Batch
4.
number 4 of the bourbon.
Triple Cask Bourbon.
That's the one. Cheers, folks.
Yeah, cheers. And for all you guys on Instagram, if you have a bottle of Doc's and you're not breaking it out right now, trying some with us, you're doing it wrong.
Yes, join us in the testing.
So
So
what's the triple cast?
What part of it?
finishing? What are the 3 casks?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's a mixture of 3 different casks. We have Pedro Jimenez casks, Oloroso casks, as well as cognac casks. So 2 different forms of sherry, and the sherry casks are from old Soleras, upwards of 20 to 40 years, maturing different sherries. And the cognac casks they're also something similar, upwards of 20 plus years worth of maturing cognacs that are all brought over from their respective regions of origin and finishing our American whiskey in them, our delicious bourbon.
Yeah. It's really good. So
You
cinnamon,
actually really get
brown sugar, right on the nose.
for me, actually quite a bit of citrus in the background there, like orange peel.
Yeah.
Your live video's paused.
Did your phone fall asleep?
Someone was calling, so.
Oh, nice.
Marketing calls, right? Our marketing guy is very nice and lent us a good phone with a good camera to do this.
Yeah, not on the camera with greasy thumbprints all over
No,
it like mine.
or old whiskey dried on the back version of the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get the citrus when I taste it,
Yeah.
and like fruits, like deep fruit flavors, like red fruit, stone fruits, something that's been like cooked down for hours, and almost like fruit leather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. All mixed together with a little bit of a citrus backing.
Yeah.
Which kind of brightens it up at the end. That's primarily from the Oloroso cask is where you're getting a lot of that citrusy note from. Which this particular batch, actually no, it's number 5. Pardon, number 5 had the higher Oloroso content to it.
Yeah, which is a good point. I'm actually going to segue into 5 here real quick. So, batch 4 is was a blend we put together that kind of follows the standard that we laid out on paper. You know, when we put this product together. Batch 5 was different. Yeah, a bit of a deviant. Well, we had some extra Oloroso.
Yeah, we had
And-
actually a couple beautiful casks
Yeah,
that were finishing casks only, so they weren't just the big butts that we normally get from Spain. These were very specifically used in manipulating, fine-tuning flavors of the finished product in Oloroso sherries, actually. So they're small casks. Small meaning they're about 60 gallons. So they're not that small, but compared to the butts.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to make a big butt joke in there somewhere, and I
There's-
just couldn't make it work.
There's a lot of those usually in here. I feel like that's usually up to the guys in the production to then make.
Yeah, at least nothing I could say on camera.
Certainly.
But yeah, I think the extra Oloroso in this.
So is
You
this,
can
are we
even-
trying the 5 now?
Yeah. Well, I'm switching. You
Oh,
guys
okay.
can do whatever the hell you want. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your
Could
life.
you tell us a bit about your intention behind this product in general?
Pardon?
What's
Yeah.
the intention behind the product? Behind that?
Just to make really good whiskey. No,
He's getting us a
well, I mean, absolutely. Some of our intention behind the product is you mean in regards to?
Yeah, I mean, even
There's a lot of intention behind this product.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
So, I think one of the major things that we find interesting when we started researching about doing some exploratory cask projects back in the day before we even came up with this was working with a bunch of finishing casks, because since we're sourcing these whiskeys from really great distilleries, we wanted to put our own kind of signature on them. And in doing that was, of course, finding various neat wine casks. I don't know if it's technically on, Steve.
It's not. For some reason it went down.
Just because of the phone, right? It's me.
Then we got weather. It's cold.
Is it weird if you sit and chill?
You're back.
No, sit
Do you
down.
mind?
Man.
I'm gonna sit. Sorry, it's been a long day. It's Friday afternoon.
Yeah, it's
Some of
6
you
p.m.
guys
on
are
a Friday.
probably. I know it's.
You're drinking whiskey. You
Is
must
that framed up right?
relax yourself.
Yeah, you can see all of us in here.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're live again. So.
That's
Oh
good.
man, perfect.
Hey,
All
we're
right.
back. This is our first time. Who knows what's happening?
We certainly don't know.
Nope.
All right, so
We got enough booze to give it our best effort, though.
yeah,
I'm
right.
mostly excited to hear
I know.
about our guest star, Sydney.
Yeah, I was
here
just
about,
gonna say.
saying how ridiculous this might be.
Sydney, how do you feel about being part of Source Way Tasting?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think it's great. Free booze is awesome. Not just kidding.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I like learning about this sort of thing
Oh, wow,
because
those are different.
yeah, as we stated earlier, I'm a total novice, and so I was actually going to ask, how do you guys normally taste it? Like, do you just kind of let it like swirl around in the mouth? Is it like a wine tasting type thing where you spit it out afterwards, or?
You know, that question's, we get that question a lot, and it's always funny, and everybody has their own opinion on this, so not to knock on anybody's thing, but I definitely have a way that I like to taste spirits. The first thing would be, of course, get a nice clean glass that usually doesn't smell like dishwashing detergent. That's a big one, first of all, because that does influence your ability to taste. You don't want, you know, some sort of soap in there. It's not great.
Doesn't sound ideal.
No. I don't know. Some of us probably have moms that may have put that in our mouth. Kids.
Yeah.
Not great. Anyway, so a nice clean glass, and usually you want something that's generally shaped kind of like this. This is a Glencairn, for example. It's going to help facilitate some of those aromatics to evaporate out of the glass nicely towards your nose and your mouth. You want to pour a nice, maybe a third of the way up the bottom or the bulb portion of the glass or so. Okay. And you generally actually want to let it sit there for a few seconds and let some of those aromatics build up. Yeah, right. So I know a lot of people do this wine, they do the swirling and whatnot. I personally recommend not doing that because you're agitating it so much, you're getting so much oxygen in contact with the spirit that it evaporates or volatilizes quicker.
Oh, interesting.
Which most, people when they stick their nose in a glass of spirits, they get a little like, woo, that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And whereas wine, you don't maybe quite get that as much. And that's just generally a difference of alcohol content.
Oh.
A wine you're looking at, 12, 14, 15% alcohol content. We're looking at a lot higher than that here. Yeah, right. This particular product is 95.8 proof.
Phone keeps locking.
Yep. Did we get cut off again?
Yep. You just need to sit there and tap the screen once every now and then.
Am I rambling too much? Tell me that.
Exciting. What is the product? What's the bourbon?
Well, we don't want to make this an hour.
Too many
2 hours
questions.
long.
Sorry. Too many questions. I'm going to forget what's going on.
And we're back!
Yes, thank you.
I could get him. Who's back?
Might need to change the timer on our camera here.
Yeah. Keep
So
turning
where
off
probably
on us.
were we? Is there a lead-in of questions that might be able to give us a history here?
Well, I feel like like the phone kind of shut off
Beginning.
part way through your explanation.
I kind of figured.
How it
Both
tastes.
what the intention of the bourbon was.
Yeah. Well, I think the summary of the how to taste is kind of,
Like, everybody has their own, way of tasting kind of mouth-wise. Don't swirl it so much. No soap in the glass.
and get a nice...
Breathe through your nose and mouth when you're doing an initial
It's very
aroma.
important.
Do you need to swirl the glass?
No, don't do it. That's a great question. No.
Some of us get yelled at for swirling.
I used to
I know,
yell
I
at
feel
our
like-
sales guy because he'd sit there and do this all day, and
It does make you feel very high class.
It does
I know.
feel
I do
very...
like it.
to each their
typical.
own.
Yeah, I guess.
But
I
it's
don't
not
know.
wine.
Yeah.
I just have this vision of this guy sitting in the chair just smoking a cigar,
That would be like,
swirling his whiskey, pondering the mysteries of the universe.
for you car guys out there, that would be like flooding your carburetor.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't sound like what you want to do.
Unless you're trying to, just get off the line quick, but that's not the goal in this.
Yeah. Well, I think that this 5 actually smells a little bit sweeter than the 4 does.
For sure.
I'm smelling a little bit more like brown sugary on this one. But it's kind of funny because it doesn't actually, taste sweeter necessarily, but it's kind of tricking me a little bit, and I smell it.
Yeah, I definitely get butter and, well, to some degree, nut butter, like peanut butter, cashew butter, some sort of, creamy nuttiness to it.
This product always reminds me a lot of marzipan, very specifically.
yeah.
It's because it's
Yeah, I could
sweet
see
and it's
that.
got almonds. I mean,
Yeah.
those are such intense flavors in here for me, and I think a lot of that comes through with a bit of the PX with the cognac undertone that actually just is where a lot of the sweetness truly comes from.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, you can see how the different amount of Oloroso kind of impacts the flavor. Like, I can taste it. And, I mean, if I recall correctly, the change in the blend was 2%.
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. It was about 2.5 to 3%, right in there. So not a whole lot. It was in the whole batch. It was not that it matters that much, but it's about 40 gallons more, which is very small. But those were also French oak casks too, so they do add in some unique spicy characters that you don't normally get in and like an American oak, which is neat too.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
creme
you could
brulees, those kind of
taste
things
it.
come through.
For sure. And I think that goes back to that original question, right? What's our intention with the product? And I think that, from my perspective, what we intend with this product is to make a finished whiskey that still tastes like whiskey.
Yep.
But also to not just have it be like, if you go to the store and you buy Jim Beam and you go to a different store 2 months later and buy Jim Beam, it tastes the same.
Yeah, they
right?
do a really good job. Consistency is hard.
Consistency
but
is
not
really
always
hard.
exciting, right?
And something, exactly. And to be honest, we want to make a whiskey we like drinking, and sometimes we like to see a little change. And
Yeah.
I think we developed, a
Variety's
little
the spice
variety.
of life, they say, right?
Exactly. We
Hence the
developed
new
this
casks.
technique to allow us to play within a set of boundaries. So while it won't ever be exactly consistent, it'll always be a flavor profile that you can recognize, I guess.
Absolutely. It's a great way of putting it. And that was a really big thing for us, was as Keith said, was to still preserve the characteristic of whiskey, which is something we found over the years of trying to taste all these finished products that were delicious and wonderful in their own ways, and we were super stoked about it. Many of them help inspire what we've created here. But a big thing for us was to really still keep, bourbon going on in there.
You might mention that's when you win awards, you're often compared against non-finish. Right?
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good point, too. See, I got a marketing guy over here that's just, like, throwing out great
He's
spots.
like, you should
I'm
say
like,
these things. People want to know.
All the details.
Yeah, so and he's right, actually. So what he was saying is oftentimes what we do, and he's correct, is we actually get compared in, like, major tastings where, you win awards and whatnot, to products that aren't finished as well. In fact, that was especially with the rye, which I know we'll move on to. But, top ryes in the U.S., we were the only one that was finished, if I remember correctly, on that list, which is pretty darn cool. Especially when a lot of rye people are really into rye, or they just don't like rye usually at all. So it's neat to be able to lump in this category because it's not a super traditional rye. In fact, it has some really unique characteristics in there you'll probably never find in a rye, even at least that wasn't finished the way we do it.
Yeah, I feel like finished whiskeys is kind of this sector of whiskey that's growing, and the whiskey community as a whole hasn't quite figured out how to place it within the greater whiskey atmosphere. Maybe we'll add an extra E to whiskey somewhere, and we can differentiate ourselves.
In the American spirit.
Yeah. There's whiskey with no E, whiskey with one E, and whiskey with two E's.
Yep.
Whoa.
Spare. Whiskey.
This is maybe. For a minute, give me
Maybe
a call.
you should be marketing. Oh my gosh. Maybe he's on.
He could be. What kind of a big deal?
So when do we try the rye then?
Well,
Gotta finish the
Do
bourbon
we have
first.
to finish these ones first?
We'll see where this tasting really goes.
I know you're a novice here, but
You're like,
This is how it tastes.
typically,
Yeah.
you finish what you
So
eat.
there's one more thing, I don't know, to kind of run back into tasting, actually, that might really get your taste buds going. I find if you put the glass actually at a relative, like 45, I'll do it in front of the camera, 45 degree-ish angle or so, and you put it right, you kind of crack your lips, and you want it down, you want the bottom of the glass, and then breathe through your mouth, but let your nostrils still be open. It's a weird thing, but you really start getting more of the flavors, and that's a great way to actually pick up on things that you normally eat that you can compare to this, I find.
yeah, I've actually started doing that, and I found that if you don't use a Glencairn, if you use like a wide neck glass,
Oh, yeah.
and you have a hot whiskey, it can just punch you right in the face.
You just get up in the
Um,
eyes and stuff. You're like,
but yeah.
oh, God.
Yeah. That's going black again, just to let you know. I don't know. You might want to just tap the screen. I think we're still technically on.
Yeah.
Cool.
We haven't locked yet.
I wasn't
We're
sure.
good.
The
So
glasses aren't that
for
good.
everybody watching, we have this great setup where the phone goes to sleep every like 5
So we
minutes.
don't really know.
So the marketing guy has to run over and tap the screen to keep it up. If you were ever wondering if Doc Swinson's is this big corporate, is like a face for a large corporation that's doing something, no.
The answer's not at all. There's a
We're
very
four-
small team of us.
Yeah, our entire company's 8 people, and we got to touch the phone to make sure it doesn't go to sleep.
Yep, and one of us has to sacrifice our ability to touch a phone for a while by putting it up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan, you don't get to work with anybody else.
Appreciate you, Dan. Everyone, cheers to Dan.
Dan, the marketing man.
Cheers.
All right, well, I feel like I would say 4 versus 5. 4 is like sweeter, and 5 is more savory. And sorry, I'm like struggling
Four's
for
even.
words.
I think 4's pretty bright to me too, and
Yeah.
5 actually is like I said, that more stewed. It's heavier fruit characteristics, and they kind of weigh on it, which gives you this really beautiful long body. Actually,
Yeah. Honestly, blows my mind that you can get that big of a difference with tweaking it just a little bit.
I know that's just a hint.
That's pretty cool, though.
I see why I got into this.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I don't know how I feel like my 4 glass got fuller.
Oh, boy.
Heavy-handed
I
pours
was
on the
going
end.
to say, did you
Is that
switch
what
them?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I felt like I didn't pour nearly as much as you did on the other ones.
It's Friday. Just
Load
roll
on
on,
Friday.
roll it. Relax.
Just 3 fingers. I think that's what
Thank
we used
you.
to put on the back of our old bottles, which are hidden in this barrel somewhere. We used to have a great recipe on the back, and it said something like a glass.
That was last.
Yeah, Steve's going to put it in front of the camera for y'all.
Our
This is how-
suggested cocktail was 4 fingers of whiskey, rocks glass, and optional ice garnish.
Optional ice garnish.
If you couldn't tell, we
I
like
think
our whiskey.
very few people were like, what in the world? Every once when we get that, when we used to distribute that product.
Woo!
That was on the back of our Madeira
That
finish.
was the original, the first
Wow.
ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an old one.
That's cool.
Don't find that anymore.
no, that was a solid, 12-year? Was that I think it was the 12-year MGP. No longer.
Seagram's.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, true. It was
barrels.
Seagram's originally, right.
Straight.
Finished in Cerso Madeira, too, so pretty darn rare in Madeira cask.
So, would you say then that you guys would recommend drinking this straight typically, or like, is there any good like pairings or like mixed drinks that you guys would like? You know, I guess for us girls out there who like mixed drinks.
I mean, hey, mixed drinks
I
are
like straight
amazing.
stuff too, but-
I'll be honest, I'm right out of the bottle into the glass kind of person most of the time. But dropping a little bit of throwing it on a cube, some people seem to really love that because it opens up some of the other characteristics you don't normally get at the higher proof.
Mm.
And I know some people that have made it in like an old fashioned, I believe it was. Manhattan's pardon, yeah.
What did Chris
Manhattan's.
get when he went to
That was
Georgia?
delicious. Oh, I don't know what he got.
Chris
is our
it was
CFO.
like a
Chris
martini.
ordered a rye. The
Oh,
rye
see.
finished in rum casks as a Sazerac, but the bartender poured the 15-year
Oh,
as a Sazerac and walked away with a $60 cocktail.
Correct.
Yes.
He sent us
forgot
the
about
picture of
that.
the bill, and there was one thing on there, and we're like, he's like, look what I got at this place. And everything looked pretty normal, $10, $12, $15 for a drink, and there was one that was like $56. And we're like, what, Doc?
Ooh, boy.
For the Alter-Ego? That seems a bit steep just for the
Yeah.
Alter-Ego.
A
And
little bit.
Yeah,
nope, it was the 15-year.
15-year bourbon Sazerac.
He said it was really good.
I bet it was delicious.
It was amazing.
His tears run down the face.
Yeah. It's just like, it's not right.
Still 15-year.
Oh, well, I do have to say, well, I
Yeah.
think that if I drink this straight, typically I do like it on ice.
Totally.
But this is really good just as is, too. So.
We used to have an ice maker here, but I'll be honest,
So-
it didn't survive an earthquake one time. Somebody bumped it off the table.
Yeah, there's lots of tragedy. So I'm curious. Me and Jesse have kind of put our opinions out. What's as like a kind of beginner to this? What do you taste when you? What's the difference between the 4 and the 5 from your perspective?
Yeah, so the 4, I would have to agree, there's a lot more like complexity, I feel like, going on. I'm getting a lot more on the forward front. And this is a little bit smoother and a little bit more like full-bodied. Yeah.
The
I feel
5.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm stealing words from what I heard already, but that is how it feels to me, for sure.
That's all that matters. Like,
Yeah.
speak what you speak your mind. I think we've said that a few times in the past.
When did the Jamaican rum barrels get added into that Solera? Or which batch? Or is that batch 6?
Oh no, we're still talking about bourbon.
Oh, sorry.
But thank you.
No,
we'll get
go
to the
back to my
rye.
corner.
I know
Go back to my
people really want to talk rum here.
I mean, that's a good segue because my
It's
4
time to move
glass
on.
is empty and
Yeah. Okay.
He's excited.
my 5 glass
The
is empty.
excitement is real.
I can't remember what I say on
I
that
feel
framework.
like, hey, Steve, could you
Just kidding.
get a little like wash glass
Yeah.
with water so we can rinse these out?
We'll just rinse them with whiskey.
I mean, honestly, speaking of rum, I have to give a shout out to
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
my uncle, it's his birthday today, and
Oh!
he actually
birthday,
posted,
Uncle.
yeah, happy uncle, or happy birthday, uncle.
Hope he's happy.
Happy uncle, happy birthday.
Whiskey is taking its effects.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of the point, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but he actually had made Black Manhattan from, was it the rye? I think that we sent him. Yeah, it was the rye. And he said it was pretty good. So
You enjoyed it.
yeah,
Was that like with black walnut bitters or something like
yeah,
that?
and it has like the
Ooh.
little like cherry at the bottom, and
Yeah, we actually posted his stuff to Instagram.
oh
on
yeah,
our
I do
account.
remember seeing that on there. Yeah, it was a very pretty looking drink for sure.
Science.
He does typically like rum though, so I'm curious to see. So this rye is like finished in rum barrels. Is that right?
Correct.
Would you hand
How many?
a dump thing? 1 second,
Oh,
folks.
sorry. Here you go.
Sorry,
Sorry.
just go ahead.
A lot
Our
of
There's
first
a-
time, we prepared as much as we could, but we clearly forgot some
Were
stuff.
you asking what kind of rum?
Oh yeah, I was asking, is the rye? You said that it was finished in like a rum barrel.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
No,
Seconds.
do it now. I'll prepare
Okay,
your
cool.
glasses
Perfect,
if you want
sweet.
to run through
I'll
it.
take it. Yeah, so the rye. The rye is...
sorry.
No, please,
Sorry.
absolutely. The Doc Swinson's rye whiskey is finished in a ridiculously elaborate system called a Solera, which is commonly found in the sherry industry, also sometimes in the cognac and even into the Scotch whiskey industry as well. We kind of borrowed that idea and put our own alterations on it and made Doc Swinson's rye whiskey that has been aged in, or ever aged, as we like to really say here, in a Solera system, which kind of looking back here is kind of like a pyramid, where the idea is we put the rye whiskey into this pyramid and we only draw off the very bottom layer, about 20 to 25% of the product out of the barrels. We blend that up and bottle it. We replaced that portion that we took out of the bottom barrels, which is called the Solera, and replaced it with the next layer up, so layer 2, or the Criadera 1 is what we would call it. And we put that into the bottom layer. And we cycle that system all the way up the top, the very top of the pyramid here, where we put new blend of our rye whiskey in it. And the really unique thing is we ended up taking all of our bourbon barrels from the first product we just tried, the Alter-Ego straight bourbon whiskey finished in the sherry and cognac casks. And we took those empty casks and we filled them with rum. It's our own proprietary blend of different rums that has adapted and changed a little bit over time. But it's primarily rums from Trinidad and Tobago, U.S. Virgin Islands, and then, oh my gosh, Jamaica and Venezuela. But we get to Jamaica a little bit later. It keeps changing.
It's like test time after a couple of drams of whiskey. Now tell us everything about the product.
On Friday after a long day of work, yes.
Yeah, at 6
Also
p.m.
a large burrito for lunch, which is the perfect
Ooh.
recipe for napping.
Yeah,
That sounds, yeah.
it was really good.
That does sound really good.
Pastor burritos.
Delicious. Anyway, so what we do is we actually take two different rye whiskeys made in Indiana by our fellow friends MGP in new American oak charred casks. We take the first portion of that blend, which is the 95% rye, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with because it's in so many other rye whiskeys across the American market, and made great products for a lot of other people. And we take that, and that's the majority of our blend, and we mix it in with some 51% rye whiskey, also from MGP. Similar age, 4 to 6 years or so. And that creates a really nice play on the rye, kind of dulling a little bit of the rye spice out while emphasizing some of the corn qualities of the 51%, so a little bit closer to bourbon. We're bringing it in, tugging on it a little bit. And then what we do is we take that blend and add it into the rum casks, and that's where the cool part comes into play. Instead of just doing a standard straight rye whiskey that's aged in a Solera system, it's a rum cask Solera system made with those 3 to 4, and potentially more in the future, rums, which then creates this cool ever-aging product. And the neat thing about this is we only influence the beginning portion of the spirit. So the blend that goes in initially and the rums that get blended together that age in the ex-bourbon cask that we have here. So see why it's kind of a complicated system.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
I
This would be
was
so
like, wow,
much better
there's so much
if
going on.
maybe one day we'll have to do a whiteboard scenario.
Yeah,
where we
I was
just
gonna
draw it
say-
all out on a big line, and we'd be like, hey, this
we're
is
gonna
how
have
we
to
make
do
dot. An
separate
infographic.
videos on it because that's
How many
crazy.
of you would want a video on understanding what in the hell we're doing here? Even I could use
that's
it.
what
So-
they
I was gonna say, can I opt in for this?
The detail video. Who wants just not the nuts and the bolts, but like the full on,
Nerd out.
the nerd out, dirty scenario where Doc Swenson's really comes from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me.
All right.
That
It
would
shouldn't be a Friday afternoon after
Yeah,
burritos
well,
and
well,
whiskey.
some other day. Some other day.
I'm
But
not
we'll get
focusing
there.
on that right now.
Well-
Nuts and the bolts is rum casks, beautiful, delicious rum casks, rye whiskey, go together, voila. This is what we're ending up with.
I will smell a little bit of a rumness to it.
Yeah, it's kind of coming through a little bit on the
Yeah.
nostrils.
Yeah, I
Huh?
definitely get a fruity note.
Yes, it's very fruity.
Jamaican rum
It's-
really adds some of the pear and like apple qualities,
It's all
actually.
about that dunder pit. If you don't have a dunder pit, I don't want it.
Oh no. That could be a different video,
Yeah,
actually.
that'll be a different video too.
Maybe we'll invite some of our rum friends into that.
Hello.
Hi
Oh,
there.
Stevie,
How's it going?
join us
You're not
here.
quite in here.
Everyone
You're
scoot
not
over.
quite in here.
Yeah.
You getting in the shot?
All right.
I heard rye. I heard rum.
Did you want the 4 or
Shut
the
up.
5? Do you have a preference?
What are you guys starting with?
The 4.
Four.
Yeah.
Okay.
You started
Warm
with
up
the
the
4.
four.
You moved to the 5.
Yeah, I was kind of in the background watching some people chiming in, and
Yeah, what
we
kind of good
should
questions
say
have we got?
hi to.
For everyone, this is our director of sales.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
He's the swirler.
He's the swir-
Promise
Ooh,
never to
called
tell
out.
anyone.
Called out.
Promise never to tell anyone my
He's gotten
embarrassing
better. He's
things.
gotten better.
Anyway, I really
To
like
be
this
fair,
one.
he's my.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I'm just surprised at how much different it smells than the bourbon.
Than the bourbon, yeah.
It is like so
Not even because it's
hugely
rye,
different.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And so you were saying earlier that this gets compared to stuff that's not finished. So you go through this whole process of like transferring through all these different types of barrels and mixing like that other people don't do, and then you guys get compared to that. Is that what I'm?
in an interesting way where people I still think can taste the fact that it's rye whiskey and not this completely other product, which doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's just it's
It's its own.
it's its own thing, and it's still
different.
still whiskey, and that's what we want to
Yeah.
focus on. I mean, it says on the label itself, straight rye whiskey, finished in X casks,
And-
or in this case, rum casks.
So what you
we
guys
do
are
other things. too.
Talking about with like the competitions and stuff earlier, we go into the larger bracket where there's more competition in there to see how we stand up against the straight bourbons.
Yeah,
Instead of going into a more narrow field where, there's less competition. Still hard. I'm not saying it's any easier, but
Yeah.
go into
make
something
my job
like-
sounds super easy.
yeah, go into
You got to compete with
a little bit more competing or competition and see what we get out of it.
Well, yeah, especially in most of the award groups out there, they don't subcategorize rye whiskey, is what we've learned.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what we're saying, right?
That's
So,
it, yeah.
so for example, like several of these different award groups, under the bourbon category, there's so many different kinds of bourbons out there as far as
Yeah.
finished, unfinished, and they separate sometimes by ages, also small batch, commercial, etc. And you can kind of put your product under what it should fit under, hopefully. Scoring brownie points. Anyways, the rye whiskey is generally just rye whiskey. So it's just this blank category for rye whiskeys, and then it seems, and maybe they split them up once they receive them. I don't know that, but I've heard that before to a couple people. Ultimately, it just goes into this big giant pool of rye whiskey,
Right.
and it's neat to have rye whiskey junkies like this rye whiskey, and people who don't like rye whiskey also really like this whiskey, which we're finding more and more, which is freaking cool, to be honest.
I mean, honestly,
I
like
didn't even dream that it would go that direction, but
yeah. I mean, I'm
maybe we
used
did.
to only picking up a rye for mixing drinks, but this is so good by itself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuinely surprised. Like, I wouldn't typically go someplace and say, pour me rye whiskey straight,
Yeah.
but this is, like, really good.
And another little added benefit with that rum in there, you were talking about, I heard an old fashioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
Skip
get
the sugar.
Skip the sugar.
Toss the sugar
Yeah.
out, just use this, skip the sugar, go water and orange or however
That's
you want to
yeah.
do it, a little bit
Yeah,
of cherry.
actually.
Yeah,
Seriously. I mean, that's
Save
good
some
for a girl
calories,
on
you know?
a diet. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah. All right. If you want to save some calories, skip the sugar for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm curious. Since this is supposed to be a tasting video,
Yeah.
what are you guys tasting here?
I'm still on number
geez.
4, to be blatantly honest.
Yeah,
I mean, me
You
too.
get a lot of the rye spice up front, I'd say, that I kind of find in these.
Yeah, you
And
definitely...
then you kind of follow end with those more tropical sweet fruits at the end.
Absolutely, the
very
rum kind of comes
funky.
out more in the end. It's the
Yes.
Jamaican rum. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
no,
Not quite.
seriously. It's like, compared to the bourbon feels very, like, traditional. This feels like party cool. I don't know. I'm saying, like, it feels like
The bourbon's wearing a suit.
The party
The
cool.
rum's got a mullet and a hat on
Yeah,
backwards.
this is in the front, party in the back.
Open
Yes.
for business,
That's a
looking
great
to
idea.
party.
Classy.
Yeah.
Then maybe
Well,
not.
Really
Yeah.
quick, want to give a quick shout out to Curious Jen. She's out there
Woo!
watching.
Hi,
Yeah,
Oh my
Jen.
gosh, I
she's
should have
got a
had your glass.
Yeah,
I have a Curious Jen glass.
we'll find one for
We'll
next
find it.
time.
I think it's actually in the dishwasher, to be totally honest. Without soap.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Yeah.
worry.
That's okay then.
Smart.
And Michael
I've done
Fisher.
this before.
Michael Fisher loves the rye.
Woo!
We do
Nice.
too, believe it or not.
What's
Good
that?
call, Michael.
He likes the rye.
Oh,
loves the rye. Alex Mose 23
Hi.
gave us the hand.
Nice.
And DJ E 9599. He likes the 15-year, believe it or not.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Like-
Tried it
That
in
makes sense.
Sazerac. We hear it's good.
Hey man,
Yeah.
me too.
And Pappy Van Monarch. I can't read that.
Oh, that's
Bad
a classy
handwriting.
one.
Anyway, hi to
Hi,
everyone,
guys.
and
Is
Thanks
that
for
not
joining
too
us.
much?
we'll let you guys. You guys jump back into it.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
want to know if anybody else
Thanks for
out
joining.
there.
Thanks, salesman Steve.
Yeah, I'll come back when
Steve.
I need more.
I know. I think you need to try
And
the
I'm back.
5 because, like, yeah, seriously. Do you need me to pour you some more?
Yeah, I'll take a little
Yeah,
bit more
alright,
for the
let's,
road.
Let's
you
give
know.
you the 5.
Yeah, give me
right?
the 5. I'll compare.
Little road trip.
So when we're actually processing the Solera in our other warehouse where there's hundreds of barrels up on these giant racks, and we have to pull from each one of these barrels every single time we go to do a bottling and then transfer into the other barrels, is this ridiculous process that requires a 20-foot tall genie lift and many hoses.
Oh my gosh.
And people. It's really cool. But the neat thing is, and somewhat embarrassing to say, is sometimes this rye whiskey might overflow a barrel once in a while, or it goes on the floor, which is totally sad, but it makes the warehouse smell insanely delicious.
Wait,
I mean,
didn't I
mouth-watering.
see that you guys spilled some in the parking lot the other day?
Oh wait, we posted that, didn't we?
It's
Yeah.
entirely on social media. Yeah, a barrel launched off a forklift, evidently, because
No,
of
there's a
the
loose
floor
bung.
drain.
Wasn't it a loose ball?
Oh, no, it hit the
bung.
ground, and then the bung popped out. No, I saw the damage later.
Oh,
we
man.
thought it was loose bung. I was like, what do you mean? How does it just fall out?
Yeah, right?
It was
With
kind of
the-
funny.
It hit the ground. The barrel hit the ground.
Yeah, the chime is like smushed on one
Oh,
side.
no.
Anyways, fun with the forklift here.
Tragedies happen
Duck
sometimes, I
misses.
guess.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I've spilled whole barrels before, so
Oh.
I'm the worst still here at this company as far as dropping whiskey on the ground. So
So
maybe you want to try a really unique petrichlor flavored whiskey.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have a floor whiskey barrel somewhere.
It's hiding in the back.
Ooh.
Someone asked if that was 10 bottles worth. It was at Hay West Saloon. Asked if that was 10 bottles worth.
On
That
the
got
Ooh,
spilled.
much
It
better.
was
That's like one of those like guess how many beans are in the jar scenarios.
Oh yeah, have everyone guess, and we'll see who's the closest.
We actually calculated how much was
Wow.
gone.
So if people want to guess, throw your best guess out, and you might get
You might win a T-shirt if we ever make them.
Whoa, dude.
Ooh,
Oh,
Where's
I-
the-
he's throwing out. Hey,
I'm getting the swag team
the
rolling.
secret is we're never making T-shirts.
Ask for a hat. Ask for a hat.
some kind of swag. I feel like if
Asset?
somebody nails it, like, that, gotta send them something, you know?
All right. 10 bottles. That's gosh, what is that going to equate to? That's actually not far off.
So how many?
Well,
how many
Hay West-
gallons?
If Hay West Saloon's the only one that guesses, we're gonna have to.
I guess you get the
the
non-existent
potential
T-shirt.
T-shirt.
If it ever happens.
Hey, we're a small team out here.
Yeah. Overworked and under-whiskeyed. I'm just kidding. Maybe over-whiskeyed.
Yeah. Right now I'm doing okay on whiskey. I haven't
No,
eaten enough
it-
today to be.
We calculated approximately 2.16 gallons. There you go.
Really?
Which, if I had a better head on me right now, I would calculate how many bottles that would be.
So you're
But
just gonna give Hay West
That's a
Saloon
lot of
the
math
win.
for a Friday afternoon,
it's too
honestly.
much math. Maybe I don't know, 12 bottles. Gosh, I can't.
Wait,
even
you
think about it
gotta you gotta convert to like liters and then.
Correct. So
put in
multiply
the
by 3.
750.
If anybody has a calculator, it's multiply 2.16 by 3.78541.
Oh no, that was too many numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
2.6 times
3.78541.
3.78541.
How many liters
Is that
is
to liters?
That's to liters.
Yeah,
That's the liters. So
so-
now you need to times that by point or one. No,
And don't forget to carry the
0.75.
but that would make a smaller number. It
Oh,
should be a
sorry.
bigger number.
Gosh, yeah. I can't remember that number off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to do math.
Wait, so
If you multiply that particular
Physics, man.
number by 1,000 divided by 750, that would eventually give you the
Yes.
bottle count.
That will do
Okay.
it.
That's the number we're looking for. I just can't remember what it is.
times
Until you
0.75. Okay. Wait, no, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, you're supposed to times by 1,000, then divide by 750.
which would
Oh,
be
shoot. Oh, shoot. Okay.
which would be the 1.2 something or other. I don't remember.
Do
Anyways, this is probably getting off topic.
I
Oh,
learned
yeah.
in a class a long time
Shut
ago,
up.
never do math on
up.
camera.
Is
No,
it? I don't know.
that's probably
We might have
work.
paused. No, I think we're on. There's just something else
Are we
popped
still-
up.
Oh, somebody wants to join us.
Oh, that's
Is
great.
that what it is? How do
Yeah.
you? What's that mean?
Go like they would go live with
want
us
him on there?
basically. You
Who
just
is
be
it?
like, hey, are you drinking whiskey also?
Dude, Dan's gonna be. Oh,
Whoa,
doing it.
We're doing
We're doing it.
risky.
we're doing it. We're bringing
Risky
somebody into the conversation.
business.
Is it nipple smoke?
I don't even know.
They
Is that a name?
They could have their pants down, man.
Oh my god! Wow. Okay, we just learned clearly we're not great with Instagram, which is embarrassing to say as a millennial sitting here.
We spend all our time making whiskey.
Yes, in warehouses,
Yeah,
away from camera for a reason.
Okay, so
I don't think they joined us, so we're good.
yeah, no.
There might be potential pants down comment or whatnot that came out.
It was
see what
Halo
happens.
Saloon, so
Oh, cool. All right.
Oh,
Bottles.
okay.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
He's
So
a
we
cool
can
guy.
get him to join. He's the guy that
Can you
got
still
to
add
it
him?
right. If he wants to try again, maybe we'll. Allow it.
Tell him to join. and we'll-
Yeah, if you want to try joining again, we'll
He seems like a.
hit the
or
OK
she,
button.
They
Oh.
seem like a.
Robbie Stefano says, yummy. I would
On
agree
the
with
rye?
that. I would agree with that. So the
Uh-huh.
5, I'm smelling like super orange. Like it's got like, it just hit me right in the face when I smelled it. Like citrus orange for sure.
Yeah. You know what I get out of the 5 is bubble gum. Like
Bubblegum, interesting.
like
Bazooka
the-
Joe. I
the
think
Hubba
was-
Bubba
or
Bazooka
Hubba Bubba, yeah,
Joe, like,
with
just
the
kind of the-
cartoon.
yes, the
Yep.
real
It lasts for 5
basic-
seconds in your mouth as far as
It's got,
bubblegum
like, that
goes, but
little
you still love it.
comic strip
Yeah, it comes
that,
with the
like-
comic.
This lasts
strip,
longer,
the,
though, I
the
swear.
Rub-on tattoo.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I get a lot of that.
I think this is better than that. I'm just going to put that out
Oh
there.
yeah,
Just
definitely.
saying,
It's like it's a piece of it.
but-
It's one of the many tasting notes. To me, this stuff always smells like spiced pears. Actually, like almost spiced canned pears to some degree. So you get that like it's it's like soaked in sugar kind of thing because it is a little bit sweet.
Okay.
Pears and apple skins. It really reminds me of actually the beginning portion of like fermenting ciders for the fermentation. So just the juice, technically, I guess.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of that like on the back end.
Yeah, and then with like a ton of baking spice.
Mm.
For me, it's like close. It's like a really good Caribbean spice cake.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
That's like full
Like a
on what I
Caribbean pineapple spice cake.
upside down cake.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah.
I actually have no
Ooh.
idea what goes in that cocktail, to be honest.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah. Smells like food.
We forgot our chicken and a biscuit.
Chris, come join us for a drink.
He's like, no.
No.
We have an audience now, folks.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We have.
Oh, Isla's gonna come join us.
Isla! I love your hair.
Come here.
She might be a little shorter than the table,
I was
but
gonna
hold
say, I'm
on.
like, here.
Can't stay on for too long.
just a quick say hi and then goodbye.
Nice. She knows the jump.
Say hi and bye.
Say hello.
This
Say
is Isla.
hello.
What,
Here,
wave to
She
the
comes in to
internet.
say hi every once in a while.
We'll get
I
you
mean,
out of here.
She's the one making the sales calls. technically.
Yeah, I don't do anything around here. Sorry guys. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
You can do my hair
Alright,
next
who do we
time.
have
Hi.
here? Wait, somebody's trying to join us.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, you just hit the button.
Oh,
A
right.
button.
It pinned the comment to join, but that's okay.
Sorry.
We don't know how to Instagram.
Nope, clearly not.
No.
That's okay though. I think this is supposed to be somewhat about hanging out, drinking some good whiskeys with people that would appreciate talking about whiskey and trying something new if they haven't tried it already.
I hope you all have your own whiskey out, and hopefully you got some Duck Swensons to go along with us.
That's Chris. He's
Hey,
gonna lurk
Chris.
behind the barrels.
No, I'm actually just filling some.
Oh, he's just gonna come grab some
Oh,
whiskey.
do you want to do rye or bourbon?
He's probably tired of the Excel
Bourbon.
sheets.
Bourbon guy. Okay.
So I'm curious if anyone out there is drinking rye. Drop in the chat what you're tasting. I'd love to hear some additional notes on this. I feel like every time we taste the rye, or at least every time, I guess I can only speak for myself. Every time I taste the rye, I feel like I get like just a really tight pair of notes that I feel like describe it really well.
Almost for each batch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like anise, bubblegum, some sort of like fruit crumble, right? Something, some sweet, fruity.
Dude, apple fruit crumble.
Yeah, with like vanilla ice cream.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I that's like, I feel like that by itself kind of, in spices, kind of like encapsulates the rum, the rye for me very well.
It's one delicious spice cake.
Yes.
That's great. Yes. And boozy.
Do you guys
Pineapple.
typically like take something like this and pair it with something that is similar, like similarly flavored, or do something kind of like opposite?
Someone's trying to join.
Like
that's kind
a
of
food pairing or something like
contrasting-
that?
Yeah,
or?
like a food pairing, like maybe like a cheese or something like that.
Oh gosh, this might go with the great Comte cheese from France.
Okay.
No kidding, I've just thrown that one out there. It might be delicious because the apple characteristic in there, or the pear characteristic, could go great with the Comte cheese, actually, now that I think of it. That was a joke at first. It might be good.
One of the first pairings we found was jalapeno potato chips with the rye.
Oh my gosh, yes. There was a time we were all hanging out back
It's
here
pretty
working late, and
Ooh.
all we have ever in our office for snacks is various chips from the store from
yeah.
lunch. And yeah, we had some delicious jalapeno potato chips.
I love
And
chips.
I think I
So
remember
good.
blending up a batch of this one day, and I was really hungry. And so we ate all those, and then turned out it was a damn good pairing.
Ooh.
It's exactly what went to it. So we made this joke here: is what chip pairs with our whiskeys, and maybe how many of you think we should publish that? Is that something we can do?
Was that good?
Do a proper.
That-
We do a
Chip
proper
pairing?
like
We
chip
should.
pairing with our whiskeys. I mean, is that totally absurd?
Yeah,
Whiskeys and snacks. What else do you
Whiskeys and
want?
snacks,
I
like
could
this
see
would be
it.
good with pub mix.
15-year Mountain Dew Doritos.
Oh my gosh! Now we know Keith is paired with these things.
God.
Dude, I feel like
Thanks
that's
for the
the
zip.
ultimate nerd out scenario.
Bye, Chris.
Thanks, Chris, for joining us.
Miss you already, Chris?
He'll probably be back.
Oh, yeah. Once his glass is empty.
Oh,
There he
man.
is.
I mean, I don't know if it's because I already had like 2 glasses of the bourbon, but just this rye is so good. It really is. I mean, I'm just genuinely surprised.
Like,
I
wait a-
mean, both of them taste amazing. And I feel like the flavors are pretty consistent. So is there much of a change between the two of these?
The ryes, not so much. So that's
Okay.
some of the beauty of the Solera system. There is a little bit of a change between some of these batches, of course, as the product theoretically ever ages. But let's be honest, the Solera was built a little less than a year ago, so it's still pretty young in its system, averaging 4 to 6 years. But ultimately, the Solera, the purpose of the Solera, at least in our case, is designed to help facilitate like a fairly consistent blend process.
Okay.
And to be totally honest with you, here's like the one of the main reasons, other than delicious flavors and wanting to be a total kid about building a Solera system in the whiskey industry, is it actually helps me blend. It helps me stay on top of getting all our other products out here and developing new products. It is a natural way in being another version of a blender here to some degree. So we're only influencing the first half. The last half is coming later.
No comment for you.
Oh, I got a comment here. Rye finished rum is killer good. So many dessert notes, all blinded against. Oh, AE later. Yeah, you should. Totally different beasts. Of course, it was one of our inspirations. They were one of the first people, at least on the commercial level, to really come out with something quite like that. Thank you. I would highly recommend it. Totally different beasts going on with very different processes. The other thing to add about Doc whiskeys here is we don't add anything except just the finishing cask. So there is no flavor balancers, there's no additives or anything like that. Not comparing it to anybody else. We just don't do it. We didn't want to.
Can you tell that guy that we're trying to add him, but it's not working?
Which guy?
We're trying to go.
We're trying to
with
add
you.
somebody, and every time I push it, evidently it doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on our side. But
Oh,
keep
Faye for
trying.
making the Manhattans. Heck yeah. You know, I haven't even tried one in a Manhattan yet, to be totally... I know!
Yeah, I think
Everybody
they're
else
really
around
good.
me has.
Yeah.
I just drink. I make the whiskey, drink the whiskey neat. I don't know. I'd love to try. I actually really love
I can
cocktails.
attest to this. I've seen him pulling whiskey out of barrels a number of
Woo!
times.
High West Saloon, thank you so much thank you for your support. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's how we keep rolling down the path, and that's one thing I probably am not allowed to say during this, but I should anyways. Is there's a whole slew of experimentations out there that we are working on, and in time we'll release. We don't know when that is, though. It tells us when it's ready.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes,
The barrels are ready when they're ready. We
we.
shall bottle them at that point.
Yes, that was a very
No
eloquent
sooner.
way of saying it as we put on the darn label, which is bottled when ready.
Yes.
This is beautiful. Um,
She says, and just
Yeah, I feel like
let him into
there's
the
Oh
something
no!
just like-
High West Saloon says it's his Wi-Fi is bad right now, so it might be on his end. But thanks for letting us know. We felt really bad. And to be fair, we're in a
Yeah.
giant Faraday cage, basically, so it's not like anything works here. As far as the people do, we work pretty hard.
I
The
definitely,
Wi-Fi doesn't.
No, the Wi-Fi is rough in here. Honestly, I'm surprised we can do a live stream. But
future.
yeah, we're putting it together.
Oh.
And
One day
you
we'll
know,
be in the barrel house.
yeah,
High West says he gets all the stuff from K&L and Mission.
Ooh.
Mission, K&L.
Yeah,
I think
good.
we did a. Can
Shut
I
up.
say this? A tasting with a certain group of people. Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you can say some of it.
No, I won't say it all. Sales guy won't. It was a long tasting with a really wonderful group recently, the LA Bourbon Society, and unfortunately our internet actually crapped out, so it died after 7 hours of chatting with them, which was a long
7
time.
hours. That's
Yeah,
that's
They
pretty
probably
good.
won't like me saying 7 hours, but it was 2.5 was the tasting.
I wasn't there, but I can attest everyone had a good time.
We had a good time. It was really fun. Shout out to them. They seem to really like K&L and Mission as well.
I
So,
think that bottle's blank.
so thank you. Fiance and I shared a dram of 15-year Barrel 29 on our proposal night, and I was able to find a whole bottle of it the next week. Definitely our most sentimental whiskey. Yes, sentimental whiskey in the collection. Thank you,
It's
Timothy
wonderful.
P. Miller. We appreciate that. It is darn good. Oh my gosh, but that's the 29 barrel. That was an excellent batch, actually. They all did taste a little different. That was the 29 barrel one, which
Ah.
was one of the middle proof sections, if I remember correctly.
That was good. That was good.
In fact, I think it was the one we liked the most.
Yeah.
That was batch. I think it was batch. Sorry, we call them different names here when we're in production. I think it was batch C. All right, what else we got here? Favor Megan? Got the Manteau. That's a
Yeah.
pin that I keep looking
But
at.
I think so. Going back to something that was talked about before, like the Solera and the difference between the two batches. I think this is the first like live tasting we're doing. I think we all want to do this probably every batch we put out. I think very quickly we'll move the Solera to maybe once a quarter. The whole point of the Solera is to kind of build consistency.
Yeah.
I mean.
It's
to,
not
to some degree, you
can't.
can't not have consistency with the Solera. That's the whole point of it.
Yep.
So, but I would expect the Solera as a whole to grow and evolve over time, and that as that's happening, we definitely, we want to come in and see and taste against old batches how the Solera is expanding. So I think that'll be really cool. And I know we have some interesting changes
you.
coming up soon.
The other cool thing about manipulating Soleras I've talked about a little bit earlier was like adding some more different kinds of rums to the initial blend that goes to the barrels that eventually then ages the rye whiskey. A funky idea we've kind of come with that we'd like to do in the future is dedicate a portion of the Solera to what we call plugging in the barrel. So that would be popping out certain barrels in the pyramid and adding in different casks to it. So right now it's all rum casks, or bourbon casks that then became rum casks, that then aged the rye whiskey. And over time, of course, the rum gets pulled out of those casks and we have to kind of revitalize it. So the idea is you plug in different barrels. Those barrels, moving forward, could be fun. I'm only saying could because we haven't done it yet. But eventually, it'd be nice to plug in things like cognac casks, sherry casks, things like that had aged rum in them, and then eventually the rye whiskey, to add in a little bit of a different characteristic of complexity.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we could even isolate that particular one, so don't worry, your beloved rye whiskey won't totally go away as the way it is, but we could blend in as we find according or do special release batches as well from that particular select.
That sounds pretty good.
So even more work for you.
It's more work. I know. See, now I broadcast this. They're going to make me actually do it.
Yeah, see, Jesse here has been looking bored lately, so.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. No. I said that's.
Interesting.
Hey, that's why I'm in it, right? That's why
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of here. Is for making cool stuff. That's what we like. It's
I think
fun.
at the end of the day, we all enjoy whiskey, and we all want to make a whiskey we enjoy.
Yep.
And, part of that's experimenting.
Absolutely, and trust me, it's not all great. There's some of those 90-some-odd unmarked bottles over there. There's a reason why they're sitting there, and some of them are good. Some of them inspire us. Some of us inspire us to change what we're doing. Not everything pairs that well, as I'm sure we all know with food. Same thing.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
yeah.
Well, do you have any additional thoughts as the novice here? Like, how would you describe what you're tasting? The differences, if any, between 4 and 5, and how would you kind of sum up the rye?
I mean, honestly, I feel like the two of these, they're very similar. As compared to the bourbon, where there was like a very distinct difference between the two. The rye is very consistent. They're both amazing. Yeah, and I would drink this all day, every day. Honestly. No, I mean, seriously. And I'm curious as to try and mix drinks, and am just genuinely surprised at how good it tastes by itself, too.
Sounds like Doc's Rye is going to be added to the bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there might be a case running around here. I might just walk away, right? Just kidding. I didn't say that.
I was going to say a bottle, but
Oh,
I was gonna say,
as a
I might-
thanks for coming, but yeah, case, I guess.
Well, can I buy it someplace near me, right? I mean, there's gotta
Yes.
be. You guys have.
I know,
a
like,
There
subtle
it is.
plug.
wow,
Look at-
that was
look at
beautifully
you.
put.
You should come back to more of these.
We definitely plugged her in for the
You're
market.
hired.
I know, right?
We're fired. She's hired.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, there is a great place to find these bottles. If you go to our website or use the beautiful little QR code on the back of the bottle, if you happen to have one, it's docswhiskey.com. There's a bottle finder on there, and all you have to do is type in your zip code, and it should populate whatever group of stores is closest to you. We would recommend, because these are limited batches, limited bottlings, give it a call, get a bottle reserved if you really want to try it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, John's Liquor Foul-Mouthed Joint wants our whiskey at his store.
Where's he at?
John, where are you at?
We have to know, so our friends in your state can come and get the whiskey.
I'll let you know if it pops up.
Just watching the feed.
Yeah.
We're just
I kind of like watching the feed. I feel way more important with a clipboard.
Yeah.
Is that why you just walk around with one all day?
Yes. I learned that from a kid that I used to work with. He used to walk around with a wrench in his hand all day. I don't think he did anything.
Cape Cod.
No, honestly.
Cape Cod, yes. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
foul mouth. I think that's the first thing I think of.
No.
What?
Our sales guy just mouthed to our marketing guy,
Uh-oh.
where's Cape Cod?
Massachusetts.
I think sales guy.
We're
your
coming,
beautiful.
dude. Yeah.
Your partner's calling. Do you want me
So,
to?
two folks from
Sorry, Leo.
Massachusetts, actually in basically the greater New England area. We're going to be coming there very soon. We've been in works with a distributor to start supplying there.
Oh.
That's
Our
pretty exciting.
sales
yeah.
guy.
All the fun.
Doc
paperwork.
Swinson's, Massachusetts.
And when we have
July,
product,
August.
when we have product available, because it's getting kind of tight.
Oh wow, so limited supply then, it sounds like.
Yeah, we don't have that many barrels.
Oh.
We have a lot, but not that many.
Is that for the rye or for the bourbon or for both?
Both. Limited
Ooh.
supply. Bourbon's going like hotcakes right now.
So if
Whiskey's
you
going
see
like
a bottle-
hotcakes.
What should you do?
Our marketing
Yeah,
guy
I
says,
guess
if
it
you
is.
see
I
a
was
bottle,
like, I didn't want this to be so blatant, but yes, if
Buy
you
it.
see a bottle,
Yeah, well,
buy
there's
it.
not a lot of it. So that's the point.
Buy 2. Buy 10. You never know.
if you really love it, why
Yeah.
not?
I just say, I'm like,
We'll try a couple
considering how good it
batches.
is.
I mean, back up what
Yeah.
these guys are saying. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Try a couple of the batches.
legitimately,
Tell us we're wrong.
a great point. Like the batches are all different, and if you like one, if you try let's say the bourbon and you like it, know that every time you get the bourbon, it's not going to be exactly the same. It'll be slightly different. So if you like that flavor profile, you can kind of keep buying the different batches, and you'll get a different take on that flavor profile every time.
And
I think that's the exciting part of
I
it.
got a couple of questions here.
really quick, when we
One
do
second.
virtual tastings, like Jesse referenced earlier with the Bourbon Society, we send them old batches and the newest batch,
That's correct.
and so that they can taste the evolution of these casks. And
Sometimes they vote on it, and it's actually quite fascinating. But ultimately, the consensus is, wow, I'm going to buy another bottle of this. That's not even a sales pitch. I shit you not. It was just really cool. It's neat to see. That's one thing. As somebody who's designing these products and blending them together is this is based upon various inspirations, right? It's an art board basically, and you never know if people are really going to like it on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Makes me nervous, to be totally honest. And I feel fairly confident in my products.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
Our
perfectly
products.
honest, as a small team,
Yeah.
like this isn't corporate. We're not salespeople. Putting this product that we built out that we all like into the national market is it makes you vulnerable in a way you don't really anticipate. And there's a lot of people who have opinions on the internet, and you see all of it because you can't help yourself from looking.
It could be an emotional ride sometimes.
Yeah, it's exciting to see that it's been well received, and
Absolutely.
to all you people watching us right now, I'm thankful that all of you guys are here because that's big for us.
We got hearts. Thank you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I get a couple glasses of
It's
bourbon
cute.
in me, I start getting a little emotional. I'm sorry, guys. love you
Also, we have a question here from Michael Fisher. Where does the Doc Swinson's name come from? Oh, it happens every time.
That's
Yes, I know. We've come up with so many different versions of this. To be honest with you, there's some funky history behind the names Doc Swinson's, but we don't necessarily tie ourselves to it. We just thought it was an interesting character from history's past, but which you may or may not be able to find. I don't know.
ooh, it sounds like a
It's
scavenger
a challenge.
hunt
It's a
now.
challenge by a ball of Docs. You
We,
might find it in the Easter egg portion of the label.
the goal, a
Um,
lot of brands have names and stories behind them. We want to kind of let the juice speak for itself at the end of the day.
Truth. We like to say it's a crazy culmination of who we think we could be if you smashed us all together into one personality. Doc Swinson's. We are the group of oddballs and mad scientists, so to speak, that make this product, and we're really quite proud of it, and really excited to see you all join us here today. So thank you.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's going old school.
Dude, that's the last bottle of the original Madeira.
How dare
Oh my gosh!
How dare I?
I had one cask ever made.
Bottle one of
Yeah, we
one.
really like to enjoy our whiskey here. No, don't. That we used to make up our labels.
Who wrote
Just
this
kidding.
label?
We didn't. It's probably me. No, because that's my. I think it was my birthday bottle.
Yeah, no, there's clearly a mistake where someone wrote the year in the release number.
Yeah, that's my handwriting. Yeah, no, there's a reason why it's still in our office.
Not for the shelves, apparently.
Nope.
That's okay. Gotta keep some for yourself, you know?
Cool. Yeah.
Well, the glasses are getting low, and I
glasses
don't know
are
about
empty.
y'all, but I'm drinking on an empty stomach,
Mm,
so I think it might be getting close to dinner time.
yeah.
So
So
maybe
pour another glass of Doc's.
pour another glass of Doc's, liquid dinner. But maybe a good
sugar
time
in
to
it.
sign off. Thank you all for joining our live stream.
Wait, hold on. We have one. Oh, John,
We got a follow-up question?
We do have one follow-up question from John's Liquor Foulmouth. Well, you do store picks. I gotta ask the sales guy that, to be blatantly honest.
Getting closer.
Yes, soon.
When we get into state, those should be available around that time. We're going to give it a little while, and who's ever supporting those Alter-Ego products will have first pick at those barrels.
All right, John, did you hear that? If not, I'll do my best to repeat it.
Summary, yes, it'll come soon.
Yes, and if it's in that state, it definitely will.
Contact your distributor.
We'll get to that point soon. You can always email us at hello@docswinsons.com.
Doc's whiskey.
Docswhiskey.com. Wow. No, we have both, don't we? Not
The email.
Docswhiskey.com.
They could probably DM on the Instagram
There you
too if they have a question.
There you go.
I don't even know how to do
There you
that.
are.
There's our tack.
We're good.
Hi.
Department.
IT, right here.
Send us an DM on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the
Ooh,
here too.
yeah.
Here, let's do it. All right,
Pour
let's have
yourself
it.
some.
All right, guys. Let's have a goodbye. Cheers.
Yeah,
Send them
we got a
up.
little. Okay,
Everybody.
Sydney, thank you for joining us. We really
Thanks for
appreciate it.
joining.
Thank you all for
having
being
me.
a part of this. This is fun. Oh, bless you, Isla.
Appreciate you guys.
Bye.
We'll see. We'll be back on in a month. We'll see y'all then.
Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
Pasta lasagna, don't get any on ya.
Or do. Ooh, perfumey.
Don't get pizza and drag.
Dude, John Liquor Fountain Mouth wants to buy 50,000